Hey everybody, Hunter, Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and just a country cook, Steve Hall here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila running that camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Today we're going to do 4 little Cornish hens in the Cajun fryer outside all at once. Now I'm always putting a turkey or a big chicken in one of those big turkey baskets, but I got those 2 little independent baskets. I thought, wouldn't that be neat to have 2 Cornish hens in each one of them and drop them down in there? But first we got to inject them, and then we're going to rub them with seasoning and get them all prepped to go outside. So come on over and let's get started. Well, we got our little Cornish hens laying here. Let me show you what they looked like when they came from the store. They're all wrapped up independently like that. We cut them out of there. They don't have any giblets in them or nothing. We rinsed them off real good, patted them dry, and moved them back to this pan. But now we're going to inject them with what Sheila made in the kitchen. This has 2 sticks of butter, about a 1/4 cup of water. Normally I use a 1/2 cup if I'm putting it in a big turkey, but I want this a little more dense because these are little birds. And by the way, I'm not going to use this big honking needle over here. I'm going to use one of these smaller ones that comes in alongside of the jar when you buy that marinade. But I never use that store-bought marinade stuff. It's just terrible tasting. This is delicious. Again, the 2 sticks of butter, only a 1/4 cup of water, but also in here is a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice, and about a 1/2 teaspoon, I'd say more of a 1/4 teaspoon of this Creole seasoning that I rub on the outside. A guy told me he was watching our videos the other day. He said, why don't you put the seasoning right in your injection stuff too? So there you are, buddy. I'm going to do it today. So let's get started. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to put a little bit in each one of these little guys. And look at them just puff up nice. This is going to be tasty, and when you do this, now you'll have a little baby bird that you can serve each one of your guests, and they can have their whole chicken all to themselves. So if they want dark meat or white meat, they can just eat that part of it or eat the whole thing if they want. Let me see if I can sneak that in there. Look at that puff up. You know, I remember years ago, before anybody ever came out with injection stuff in the store and gave you needles and all that, my dad, back when we were little kids, warmed up this same little mixture that I've got here. In fact, that's where I got it from. And he used to inject turkeys, but nobody did it at the time. So he would go to the veterinary's office and say, can you give me a needle that you give shots to cows and stuff like that with? The guy said, what are you going to do with it? He said, I'm going to inject a turkey. They had never heard of that before, so as a cook, he was way ahead of his time. Now let's see if we can get a little more in these legs here, because we didn't get any in these guys, little guys. Go in the thigh and then move it on up here to the leg. There we go. Beautiful. See if I can get the last of this out of this little deal here. 2 more little legs to go. There's that one. They don't require too much because they're pretty small. Now something I've been kind of looking forward to, and I'm going to move this over on the side for right now, is normally when I've got a turkey sitting here, I've got to take the thing and season it and turn it over and do all that. I thought, what if I put a bunch of this seasoning in a bowl like this, which I already have, then I could just take these little baby birds and tumble them in here like this completely. Now we're hitting every spot on the bird. Look at that. Don't you know that skin's going to be absolutely terrific? I always wondered what that big opening was in those shaker jars for. Now I know it's to do this. And I can't wait to drop those in 350-degree oil out there in that Cajun fryer. Need just a touch more for the last guy there. That's the last one. Now this is a slick way to season up your birds. And when you're deep frying them and it cooks all the skin so crispy and stuff, you almost can't get too much seasoning on there. So that just worked out perfect. Sheila said that's a quick way to do it too. I said absolutely. Looky here. Does that look fantastic? They're all injected. They're all seasoned up. Let's take them out and put them in the Cajun fryer and get ready for a wonderful meal. Now this is going to be a lot of fun, dropping these 4 Cornish hens in the deep fryer all at once. They're not going to take very long to cook, and I don't know what that time is because I've never did Cornish hens in that deep fryer before. But let's go find out just exactly how long it takes to get these to 160, pushing 165 degrees internal temperature. Let's go outside. Well, we're ready to have some fun in Nashville, Tennessee. Finally, the weather broke. We're in the middle of October, and yesterday was 86, and then it dropped to 53 last night. And now it's only 64 degrees, which is perfect deep frying temperature. I got my 4 little Cornish hens in there. Come on over, let's dunk them in the oil. Do these little guys fit perfect or what? Time to go in there, gentlemen. Just like the turkey or chicken or anything else, put them in a little at a time. These little guys don't act up too bad, so there we are. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Now we're going to check these in about 4 minutes or 5 minutes. Let's see, I got about 23 minutes to 4 o'clock. So let's check them in about 4 to 5 minutes and see what the internal temperature is. Well, it's been 4 minutes. Let's take a peek here. Wow, they look just absolutely beautiful. Let me check the gauger here. Got it on Fahrenheit. Let's take a peek down in this little breast here and see what she says. Now they say 5 to 7 minutes a pound for poultry, and these things can't hardly weigh but a pound. Rolling up on 100 degrees right now. But it's not going as fast as I want it to go. There's 104, 105, 106. 110. I'm just going to stop now and give it a couple more minutes. In fact, I'm going to give it about 3 more minutes. Bingo, it's been 3 more minutes. Take a peek. Boy, they just look so good. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking because these little birds are more of a dense meat because they're so small that it takes that 7 minutes per pound to get through to those, you know? So let me turn on our little gauge, make sure it's on Fahrenheit. Take an internal temperature reading on this little guy here. See what he's at. Okay, he just went by 90 degrees. Just went by 100 degrees. Got to get that to 160 to 162 anyway. And then I know once you stop cooking it, it'll still go up a little bit. You don't want them dry. And I'm giving each one of them, as I check them, I'm checking a different bird so that I don't poke another hole in it. There's 121. Can't believe that these little guys, after 7 minutes of 350 degrees, are not just snapping right up to close to 160. And there's 125 right there. Very interesting on a small bird like this that it would take that long to get the temperature up. Well, it's slowing way down at 127 or 128. We got us a little bee visiting us. Here you are, Sheila. I'm going to drop these back in here. Get my little mitts back on. And believe it or not, I'm going to give them another 3 minutes. So that'd be a total of 10 minutes on these. All right, it's been another 2.5. Whoa, looky here. They're floating just like fish. There's your tip to see if they're done or not. I'll be darned. I never thought that them little Cornish hens would float to the top like that. Looky there. Just like when you fry fish, when it floats to the surface, you give it about another minute. Let me get my little gauge here. Give it about another minute. Let's check right over here. When fish floats to the top, you give it another minute or two and it's perfect. So let's see what we got. Yeah, she's going by 122, 126, 130, 138, 143. I think we got some done birds, and they told us when they were done because they floated to the surface. Isn't that something? They were probably even stuck in that basket because it took a little bit to tuck them in there, but once they got done enough, they said, the heck with this, we're going to the surface. There's my 160, and that's good enough, and it's still going to keep going up. 161, there's 162. I'm glad we opened it up there. So that, folks, was about 9 minutes is what it was. So check yours at 8 to 9 minutes, and there's 165. I really hate to see that. I like to see it slow down a lot when it gets to about 160 to 161. And I don't mind if it goes up to like 170, I can live with that. And it's really slowing down now. 167. Perfect. $168. All right. Now let's move these birds out of here and let's get them on some paper towels and take them upstairs. Look what we are taking into the house. We got them on the paper towels and are ready to go in and carve them up a little bit once they cool off and let them rest for about 20 minutes. Now, if you got a family of 4, what could be better than everybody get their own little bird on the plate? Wouldn't that be cool? Let's take them in the house. Brought them 4 little guys home from the store, rinsed them off, injected them, seasoned them up, dropped them in the deep fryer, and I'll tell you, they are so tender, and the temperature went up to 172 before it stopped. Like I said, you always want to kind of stop about 161 or 2. It'll still get to 165 internal temperature, but I can't believe how soft and moist they are. I'm going to keep these 3 here because they look so pretty, but I'm going to carve this one up. Come on over, let's do just that. This is almost a shame to cut into this little guy. Somebody made a comment the other day about my carving skills on these chickens and turkeys. You know what? They all eat the same no matter how I cut them up. But look at how tender that is. It just wants to fall off of there. Look at the juice come out of this little bird. I can't believe it. You talk about good eating in the neighborhood. Wow. That is so, look at that. The meat is just so moist. Look at the juice run out of that bird from injecting it. Because we made that, remember, with only about 1/4 cup of water. Look at that. Well done all the way through, but not overcooked. I couldn't be happier. Look at that little guy. See? My carving skills ain't that bad. Besides that, I'm going to pick the rest of the bird up and gnaw everything off the bone anyway as soon as I turn the camera off. Look at that little guy. Don't you know that is so tender and delicious? I think we done good. I gave this a taste when the camera was off, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to do these again because it's 4 Cornish hens at once. And a partridge in a pear tree. You did that outside. When we were outside, I said, look at this. We got 4 Cornish hens at once. And she says, 2 turtle doves and a partridge. You are the most amazing thing there, young lady. That's Sheila running that camera, always goofing off. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe. You got to try it. Trust me, it's so delicious. We hope you enjoy our recipes, and we really hope you subscribe to our channel. Right there is little Shotgun Red's face. It'll pop up in a minute if it hasn't already. We'll put another recipe over here that we really hope you enjoy. And boy, is this the most delicious little deep fried Cornish hens in the Cajun fryer you ever ate? If it ain't, it ought to be. This is Steve Hall in Nashville, Tennessee saying we'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Say goodnight, Sheila.
Good night, Sheila.
Bye-bye.